Hey everybody, Justin from FrugalSnobs.com. What's up, YouTube? I brought Christine with me. Say hello.
Hello.
We brought another currency review for everyone, and this is for the Series A Clydesdale Bank of Scotland £1 note.
Yes.
Issued in 1975, the first year of issue, and featuring Robert the Bruce. Pretty cool.
Yes, it is.
So let's go ahead and talk about the Clydesdale Bank of Scotland first, and then we'll actually get into Robert the Bruce. That's why we're here. So the Clydesdale Bank of Scotland is the smallest of the three major Scottish banks, along with the Bank of Scotland and the Royal Bank of Scotland, respectively. The bank was founded in 1838 in Glasgow, Scotland, also with branches opening initially in Glasgow and Edinburgh. And I believe the bank is actually going to be phased out as of June of 2018. And when I say phased out, I mean the brand of the Clydesdale Bank of Scotland in favor of Virgin Money, owned by one Richard Branson. So, very intriguing note, not only because it is from the Clydesdale Bank of Scotland, but the bank may no longer exist in terms of branding very soon. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
All right. So let's go ahead and get into the bill itself. Now, Christina, you have a bill from the second series of runs of this banknote,
yes,
so to speak, and it was from 1983, and you found this note prior to me finding this note.
Yes.
So the 1983 design is, I believe, identical.
Yes.
To this design. It's a cool note, folks. You don't see other £1 notes that really look like this.
No.
So I also want to bring up the fact that banks in the United Kingdom, in many cases, have the right to print their own banknotes.
Yes.
And this is no different. So what you're seeing is a product of this. The note features Robert the Bruce on the front side of the note.
Yeah, it's from like the chest up in his armor wearing a crown.
Awesome. And he's offset, yes?
Yes, he's off to the left-hand side of the note.
Yes. So Robert the Bruce, or Robert the First of Scotland, King of Scots, basically ruled between 1306 and 1329, I believe.
Yes.
He died in 1329 at the age of 54.
Of an unknown
ailment.
Yes.
An unknown ailment. His father was also a noble. He was also an earl as well.
Yes, he was Earl of Carrick from 1292 to 1306.
Gotcha. When he became
King
in 1306. So, folks, if you've seen the film Braveheart, which of course is a Hollywood depiction of the War of Scottish Independence, etc., you do see a portrayal of Robert the Bruce as a contemporary of William Wallace and an enemy, as well as an ally in the film, of King Edward I of England. The problem with Scotland is that it's full of Scots. So, if you remember that line, folks, I hope it made you smile. But really looking at the life and times of Robert the Bruce, it's really a cool note, and it's a really interesting way to also honor the reign of Robert I, King of Scots. Christina, you also found that he is also featured on the 2006 and 2009.
And 15 now.
£20 notes, I believe?
Yes.
I see. I'm not sure. Are these notes also from the Clydesdale Bank of Scotland?
Yes, they are.
Interesting. And they're hologrammed notes, yes?
The 09 and 15, but not the 2006.
That's interesting, because 2006, I think you were saying, was the 700th anniversary of the beginning of his rule.
Yes.
Of Robert I's rule. So you would think they would celebrate that a bit.
They might not have had the technology yet to put the holograms on.
Possibly, or reliably.
Yes.
Place a hologram on the design. Because I think it all comes down to design and security features, right? On the sizing of the notes and that sort of thing. But the designs are totally different. Is that correct?
Yes.
For these particular more modern notes. We are on the lookout for those notes, folks. If we find them and we're able to acquire these notes, we will also bring reviews to the YouTube channel, as always. So that's the front side of the note. Is there anything else you wanted to say about the front side of the note?
Yes, it's dominantly an olive green color.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's polychromatic or pink, orange, green behind the olive green print.
Folks, leave it to Christina to have an elaborate explanation of coloring on banknotes. I poke at this a little bit on the series of Mexican peso tickets. So check out that set of currency review videos as well. You'll find it quite funny. But yes, leave it to you to give an elaborate, ornate description of colors, which is good. Anything else you want to say about the front side of the note?
No, I mean it says Clydesdale Bank PLC, £1 sterling.
Which I love that, £1 sterling.
And then there's an image of Robert the Bruce on the left-hand side, with on the right-hand side having the £1 in a circle.
Gotcha. And there's no statement about Act of Parliament, etc.
No.
On this note. Okay. Some of the notes, folks, by the way, and I think we reviewed this in the 1920 £1 George V note, or George V banknote, actually have an act of parliament, legal tender statement, basically, on the banknotes. So that's why I bring this up. Okay, backside of the note?
On the backside of the note, we have the Battle of...
Bannockburn?
Yes.
Ha that was also mentioned in Braveheart, also in the closing credits. Basically, a point in Scottish history, pitting the Scots led by one Robert I against King Edward the
Second.
of England.
Yes.
Yes, the fourth son of Edward the Longshanks, or King Edward I of England. So, who became king essentially as the fourth son of Edward I because everyone else before him died.
Yes.
Essentially. So, turning point in Scottish history, didn't win the war for independence of Scotland from England, but it is a turning point in which the Scots enjoyed a significant victory over the English. So it's a really cool bill. I think it's a really cool banknote. I mean, it's very unique. It is different than the other £1 notes that we've reviewed. So really a cool banknote. You want to go and wrap this up?
Yeah, and the only thing I really want to just add on is it's a smaller bill.
That is true. You're absolutely right. It's a good point, Christina. So when looking at Christina's note as well as this note pictured or imaged, it is a smaller note to the other £1 notes that we've reviewed and that we have in the collection. We'll bring more reviews as we move forward, but you're right. It is a smaller note. And many countries also incorporate sizing into their currency denominations. So smaller notes tend to be for lower denominations, basically.
Yes.
And so on and so forth. But this is a smaller £1 note compared to the other notes that we're accustomed to.
It's about the same height as a United States banknote, but the width is actually a tenth smaller, approximately.
Understood. But it is also smaller than the other £1 notes that we reviewed as well. So I wanted to bring that up also. So based on a US dollar, it's a good point to put the dimensions out there for our listeners and viewers. But I also think, and I would agree, it is smaller than a United States banknote in terms of the width. Height, I understand that it's probably the same. But even compared to other British notes,
yes, it's smaller.
Different. Yep, it is different. So, and it is one of the few notes we have in our collection, along with the Linen Bank note, which we'll discuss in a separate review video at the appropriate time. It is one of the few notes that we do have that is issued by an individual bank in the UK. So it is pretty cool, and specifically a Scottish bank, and the smallest of the 3 Scottish banks.
Yes.
All right, folks, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Hope you enjoyed this review. Please check out all the other reviews here on the YouTube channel if you like what you see, what you hear. As I've said in many of the other videos, check out the Frugal Snobs podcast. Everything you need to know is at frugalsnobs.com. Subscribe while you're here. It helps us out. Comment. We'll also try to respond to any comments. Share, like, etc. It really does help out, and it helps out the effort. So be well, never pay retail. Take care of yourself and each other.